Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Coach Andres with coachingwithundress.com. And today, ladies, we're going to talk about a very common situation in relationships. And let's just say we're all guilty of it to a certain extent. But if we're not paying attention to it, it could be a negative impact in our relationships. Today, I'm going to talk about 3 signs, 3 tips, 3 tools, 3 things to be aware of how social media can have a negative impact in your relationship. How social media can have a negative impact on your relationship. Before I get in there, what I've learned more and more, not just personally, but professionally, is that it's okay, and if anything, encouraged, to have that social media conversation with someone before getting exclusive, before getting committed. It's a topic most people don't really talk about these days. It's almost like before that, it was always uncomfortable to talk about sex or bedtime situations or wants and needs. That was always like, whoa, you talk about that. Or money, another sensitive one. Religion, another sensitive one. Politics, another sensitive one. Kids, we get it. It can go on and on. Very sensitive things that sometimes people don't really take the time to talk about. But if you want a future with someone, those are all important discussions to have, right? Unfortunately, now in a digital world, social media is a discussion to have with having boundaries, especially if you're dating an influencer, a brand ambassador, a celebrity, an artist, entrepreneur, someone who just loves posting great content, a blogger. I mean, I'm a coach. I'm always on social media everywhere with my content and my videos. So there has to be a healthy way to understand how we're going to have a relationship with this if we don't talk about it. Let's not assume you know exactly where I'm going with this with social media. Let's not assume that you're going to be okay with it. It's great to bring this topic up if you're with someone that you think there's something seriously there. So a way to have this discussion is to bring it up. And there's no right or wrong way. It's not going to be smooth or perfect. Saying, I'm just curious, is there anything I should be worried about with social media on you and your post? Or is there something along the lines that I should, that might feel uncomfortable on my end? Is there something? I mean, again, bring it to the table. And you'll be able to tell right away if that person's actually genuinely telling you the truth or trying to find some gray area to play with in some sense. Because I've heard so many scenarios of relationships where they don't have this talk, or an unfortunate situation like these women find out more and more about their profile or their following or their liked photos or their engagements through comments and messages and lives. And they're just like, my goodness, I didn't know you were that involved and that open to all that attention. And it caused a lot of concern in the relationship. That's something you need to have an open discussion about before you get involved with someone. So number one is the most obvious situation, but we'll be clear with how we're going to talk about it. It's decreased time with the partner. The first one is obvious in the sense of decreased time with the partner where I'm not with you and I'm on social media all the time. That's not healthy. It's one thing if we're doing a business, promotions, all those things, okay. But I'm just always just searching around, looking for more eye candy in a way. But the one when I'm with you, decreased time with the partner, we're together, but we're not really together. I had one client in the situation, it was the early stages of dating someone, and she knows and she openly admits when she gets uncomfortable, not necessarily from him, but just in general, more of an introvert, she goes to her phone to find comfort. So she's not trying to disrespect him, but she just chooses to go to her phone for comfort. And it's not even about talking to other men or looking at photos. It's just, finding comfort within the phone. We go with our phones everywhere we go. So I could see how you could find comfort in it. And she called herself out. She's like, I don't want to do that. I feel like I'm disrespecting him. I do like him. It's decreasing the time with him. He thinks I'm not engaged, but I am. So I was like, you got to communicate that with him, saying, I'm a little shy on these situations, but I really enjoy your company, and I sometimes choose to find comfort in my phone, and I don't want to do that. So, is that okay? That level of openness, that level of owning of that situation is not only attractive, it's adorable. You're like, wow, you're communicating something that it's hard for you, and you're trying to have me understand that. I appreciate that. Everyone's got something. You know what I mean? Everyone's got some comfort mechanism. Nowadays, people choose social media or their phone as their comfort blanket. So when you're trying to establish something with someone, you're going to choose to go to your comfort blanket as much as you can. But if it decreases the time with your partner, then you're realizing, I need to get better at this. I need to work on this because this person seems worth it. On the flip side, if it's decreased time with your partner because the person's just completely absorbed and obsessed with social media in front of you, not with you, it's a huge problem. It's a huge red flag. They're more focused on their following, their likes, their comments compared to you. They want attention seekers compared to you. That's the extreme level of decreased time with your partner where someone's validated by how many likes and views and followers they got. They're not defined by the person next to them. That's a very extreme situation where you do not need to explain, compromise, or cooperate with. You're saying, good luck with that. And you just go the other way. Number two, on the negative impact of social media and relationships, unfortunately, it happens more often than you think. Negative comparisons. Wow, I see this couple always doing this. Why don't we always do something? They always look so happy. How come we don't? They post so much. We don't do that. You can compare negatively towards other couples or negative comparisons towards other individual people. As in, you should wear that sometime. Wow, you should act like that. Here, this is how I want things. This is what I like. Negative comparisons where you're inviting so many opinions, so many judgments, so many finalized things about everything that you have access to through social media, and you're kind of disconnecting yourself from the person in front of you. You're not giving yourself a chance to actually connect and learn from what they might like, what they want to say or wear or do, because you're constantly comparing it to something that's filtered, something that's just kind of posted, something that's viral. The negative comparisons can go a far way in that sense, where you're like, why are you always comparing me to something that's posted? You haven't even taken the time to connect with me. The negative comparisons can eventually lead to betrayal, emotional cheating, ego searching, ego hunting, temptation, the negative comparisons. Oh, wow, how come this person likes all my videos, but you don't? My goodness. Again, these conversations should be established before you get serious with someone, because if someone's kind of valuing that and comparing it to you, then you're dating a boy in this situation. I want to read this quote. According to recent study, the larger the role social media plays in a person's life, the less satisfying their romantic relationships are. People may see what's happening in other relationships and falsely compare, causing relationship satisfaction to decrease. An actual study. The larger the role social media plays in your relationship, the less chance of it succeeding. I've seen so many of my clients, unfortunately, they just post these lovely moments with these guys that they don't know yet. And they replace and repeat with someone else. And they just keep on doing it because they're caught up in the moment. It's a great picture of them. She's wearing an amazing dress, whatever the situation is. But you're just now trying to validate you as someone, not just someone special, just anyone, always posting on things. You have to make sure you're really exclusive, committed to someone. You're taking the time to get to know someone before you post so often. I get it. I think we've all done it to a certain extent, but it's a very young thing to do. The older you get, I don't know about you personally, I don't post anything about my personal relationships. And if I do, it's through my close friends. My close friends who I want to share a great moment of who I'm with. But to constantly update, the situation with her and I on situations, no. I don't need to invite those opinions. I don't need to invite those eyes on the situation. Keeping it private is very, very healthy. And number 3 on how social media has a negative impact on relationships. It's called missing bids. Missing bids. What's a bid? An opportunity to be there for someone because you're distracted. An opportunity to have an opinion about something because you're distracted. An opportunity to connect with someone because you're distracted. So it's more of the after effects of not necessarily negative comparisons, but basically constant social media attention. You're basically not connected. And now you missed opportunities. You missed bids, valuable moments to connect with who you want to be with because you're not paying attention. Or, I'm listening to you. Keep on going. I'm listening to you. You're really not. You think you can multitask, but you're really not. Because if it's something serious that I want you to pay attention to, put the phone down. It's very clear, almost to a point where I'll say this, and I said it to a few of my clients in the situation. In the beginning stages of dating, and you're a busy person, and he's a busy person. If the guy shows up and doesn't look at his phone, the screen is down on the table, notifications are off, beautiful, got a great start. And you guys have talked about how it's a busy week. You guys are very, overachieving employees or bosses or entrepreneurs, whatever, anything, hustlers, grinders. And let's say you're in a good hour, 2, 3 hour date, dinner, or an event. You can honestly have the respectful conversation saying, in the date, I love this vibe and this connection right now. Do you think it's okay in 1 hour we do a quick 5-minute check on our phone? Just want to check on emails and make sure, mom's okay. I want to make sure my son's okay. Is that all right? Yes, these are like unknown tapped conversations that you should have because how important your phone with work or emergencies or family or even social media businesses, which I highly respect on one of them, that you might need to just engage once in a while. So if you go for a good 2 hour discussion at dinner, is it cool if we have a quick 5-minute, just phone checks? I want to make sure everything's all right. Yeah, sure. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. Now we're back on. That's okay. But if you just assume I'm on a work call, this is an emergency text message, I'm on a date with you, figure it out. I don't care. You're like, what the hell am I on a date for? If it's in a relationship where it's like you're going to get used to me being on my phone all the time, and this is the way how I date you, I'm going to have those missing bids, those missing opportunities to connect with you because I can multitask. Yeah, tell me. No, tell me. I want the eye contact. I don't want to miss that opportunity towards getting serious with you. Put the phone down. So, that being said, I just want to say thank you for watching. I always appreciate your support. If you have any questions about this topic, about how social media can negatively impact your relationship, leave a comment. I'm always here. I read them to myself personally and respond to them myself personally. And if you want any coaching sessions, go to coachingwithandres.com. Take care.